Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai Tech News. We are kicking things off today with absolutely massive financial news, and I mean that literally. According to TechCrunch, SpaceX has officially priced its shares at $135 each, making this the largest initial public offering in history. Let that sink in for a second. The most iconic private rocket company on the planet is now open to the public markets. The announcement marks the formal beginning of SpaceX's stock market debut, and the excitement around this one has been building for years. But here's where it gets a little complicated. TechCrunch also reports that lower-tier SPV, or special purpose vehicle, investors who got in through secondary markets may be in for a rude awakening. Many of them apparently won't even know the true size of their holdings until after post-IPO lockup periods expire. And those lockups come with hidden fees, lengthy payout delays, and according to the report, even a risk of outright fraud for some. So if you've heard rumors that you might already own a slice of SpaceX through your retirement fund or index funds, Wired's Uncanny Valley podcast is also exploring exactly that angle. Bottom line, this is a historic moment for the space industry and for Wall Street. Just make sure you know exactly what you're buying into. All right, moving on to something that's going to change how a lot of us think about AI assistants. The Verge is reporting on a really interesting interview with Apple's Craig Federighi, spotted originally by MacRumors, where he opens up about the philosophy behind the new and improved Siri. And here's the key thing Federighi said. Apple's Siri is intentionally designed not to be sycophantic. You know that feeling when you ask ChatGPT or Google's AI something, and it just agrees with everything you say, validates every idea, and tells you you're brilliant? Apple thinks that's actually a problem. Federighi specifically called out AI chatbots from OpenAI, Google, and others for being overly flattering and agreeable, and said Apple is taking a very different approach. The new Siri will know when to push back, when to stay quiet, and when not to just tell you what you want to hear. Early testing already seems to confirm this. Siri apparently knows when to shut up, which honestly sounds refreshing. This connects to a broader Apple AI story as well. Wired is reporting that Apple's camera chief John McCormack says iOS 27's new Photos app will use generative AI to actually fill in missing pixels on your shots. McCormack is quick to stress, though, that Apple isn't using AI just for the sake of it. There's a clear purpose behind every feature. It sounds like Apple is trying to draw a very clear line in the sand between thoughtful AI and AI that just flatters you into a false sense of security. Now let's talk about something that should have every IT department on high alert right now. TechCrunch is reporting that Oracle has issued a warning about a serious security vulnerability that a cybercrime gang has already been actively exploiting in what's being described as a mass hacking campaign. And the scale here is alarming. Google reportedly stepped in and notified more than 100 organizations that had potentially vulnerable servers exposed to this flaw. 100 companies. That's not a targeted attack. That's a wide net being cast by bad actors looking to grab whatever they can. Oracle hasn't been specific about exactly what data was at risk, but given that Oracle's software underpins everything from healthcare systems to financial institutions to government databases, the potential fallout here is enormous. If you're an IT admin, a CTO, or even just someone whose company relies on Oracle infrastructure, this is the story you need to send to your security team today. Patch everything, check your exposure, and don't wait. Cybercriminals are already actively using this exploit. The window to get ahead of it is closing fast. And now to a story that is deeply troubling and has people calling for serious accountability. Wired conducted an investigation and found dozens of what they describe as nudified deepfake images and videos hosted right on Grok's own website. We're talking non-consensual sexualized depictions of celebrities and, according to the report, at least one prominent U.S. politician. This is Elon Musk's AI platform, and these images were not buried. They were findable on the site. This comes at the same moment that activists in New York City made headlines by raising a 40-foot inflatable effigy of Elon Musk over Times Square, also reported by Wired, as part of a protest drawing attention to the risks they say Grok poses, particularly to investors and to public trust. The deepfake issue is a serious legal and ethical one. Non-consensual intimate imagery is illegal in a growing number of jurisdictions, and the fact that a major AI platform is apparently still hosting this content after it's been flagged raises huge questions about moderation, accountability, and whether the people running these platforms are taking the harm seriously. This is a story we'll definitely be watching closely. Okay, let's pivot to some seriously big money in the AI world. TechCrunch reports that Prometheus, a physical AI startup backed by Jeff Bezos, has just closed a jaw-dropping $12 billion funding round. That values the company at $41 billion. So what exactly does Prometheus do? The startup's goal is to build what it calls an artificial general engineer, essentially an AI system capable of automating heavy-duty engineering tasks and even drug design in the physical world. Think less about chatbots and more about AI that can design a bridge, engineer a new manufacturing process, or figure out the molecular structure of a life-saving drug. This is a fundamentally different vision of AI than what most consumer products are chasing. And with $12 billion in Bezos' backing, they have serious firepower to make it real. On a related note, TechCrunch also covered Theker, a robotics startup that just raised $85 million to build factory robots that don't specialize in anything. Unlike something like Boston Dynamics, which designs robots around fixed forms, Theker's machines are built to be reconfigured on the fly for different tasks. Together, these two stories paint a picture of a massive wave of investment pouring into physical AI, the kind that operates not just in your browser, but out in the real world. Here's some good news for fans of the decentralized social media scene. TechCrunch reports that Bluesky has officially launched group chats, a feature many users have been asking for since the platform started gaining serious traction. But this isn't just a feature drop in isolation. According to TechCrunch, the move is part of a broader strategic shift at Bluesky, with the company now focusing more heavily on building tools for smaller, tighter-knit communities rather than just being a general public feed. Group chats let users have private conversations with multiple people, which is a pretty standard feature on platforms like Discord or iMessage. But it's a meaningful step forward for Bluesky's ambitions to be a full-featured social network. For a platform that grew rapidly as a Twitter alternative, the question has always been whether it can hold on to users long-term. Building community features like this is a smart play. It creates stickiness, gives people a reason to come back, and turns casual followers into actual communities. Whether it's enough to compete with the giants remains to be seen, but the direction is encouraging. And finally, let's head across the Atlantic for a story about data, privacy, and public trust. Wired reports that protesters descended on a major healthcare conference in the UK, crowding the gates and demanding that Palantir, the controversial American data analytics firm, be removed from its contract with the National Health Service. Chanting "Hands off our NHS," demonstrators raised concerns about both privacy and what they describe as political grievances tied to the company's founders and investors. Palantir has been building a growing presence in UK public sector data infrastructure, and not everyone is happy about it. Critics worry about what it means when a private American company with deep ties to defense and intelligence agencies holds contracts over some of the most sensitive personal health data in the country. Supporters of the deal argue it helps modernize NHS systems and improve patient outcomes. But as Wired's coverage makes clear, there's a significant portion of the public and medical community that simply doesn't trust who's at the other end of that data pipeline. It's a debate that's only going to get louder as AI and data analytics become more deeply embedded in public services around the world. And that's a wrap on today's biggest stories. If you found this useful, smash that like button, subscribe to Genai Tech News, and hit the bell so you're always first to know what's happening in the world of tech. I'll see you in the next one.